all the spaceships to Davenport prepare for Div Anarchy and interface with a couch in space. Welcome back to space once again, and also Knoxville, Tennessee. I haven't figured out the reality of how that works, but we're just going to get right into it because this is like a big one. Speaking of big, advertisers for today are Ligerhawk Records. You're going to want to check out the new one from Bitman, which is pure chip. It's all chip tuned, but it's really good. Collision of Spirits. He's got that's from Invictus. He's on the synthwave chip. Get Out from Tommy Tantrum. He sounds really spooky on this one. Violator Elevator from 8-Bit Panda Strike. Then you want to check out Deadfall. We just signed a metal band that's like really good. And as we're recording this, Gasoline Invertebrates Rage Magus will be out. You're also going to want to check out everybody's favorite toy place, Super 7 at super7.com/Space Couch Show is where you want to go to help the show out. You know, I'm always picking up stuff from them. Today we're going to highlight I picked up this dead Optimus Prime from the Transformers movie. They actually made an action figure when he's dead. Like, not the GoBot in the front there, but I just have them all in my Transformers section up here in space. Right. So, speaking of space, the internet is the digital weirdness space, and today we're going to talk to someone of whom I am a big fan. We've never really met, so you're just going to watch us meet on screen for the first time, I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Libertarian Goth. What's going on? Welcome to space.
Hi, thank you for having me. Good to be here.
Yes, well, like I said, this is going to be super cool. So we used to call the first section of this "Describe Your Vibe," but YouTube stole that phrase, so now I call it "Encapsulate What You Create." So for the uninitiated, how would you describe your offerings and the online presence therefrom? Like what is libertarian?
Mostly.
We're getting like super philosophical.
Mostly just philosophical. Okay.
No, we're not.
I would say the darkest side of liberty possible in the best way, though.
Dig it. And where should people go to follow you? Like, I follow you on X, but do you have like a preferred platform?
This is probably my preferred platform.
Okay.
Now I do have Instagram. Instagram, I made it mostly for my my merch store, but I do have Instagram. I have YouTube, which I usually do a lot of the streaming onto whenever I stream, and I just started really getting Rumble going last night on the stream for the first time. So
breaking news on Space Couch, awesome. Yeah. Okay, and that's Libertarian Goth with 0. So you have some homework down there. On X. On X.
Only on X. The rest of it's all regular spell.
All right, cool. Thank you. So don't screw that up there on Earth, you Space Couch Cateers, when you follow our guest. So I love all your opinions and takes and stuff. I think we are very much on the same plane there. But I want to get into your killer merch. You've got some like incredible stuff going on. Is there any piece about which you're particularly excited? I know you've got a pretty strong catalog.
Well, as far as the newer stuff,
yeah,
I would say it would be, well, I'm not sure if you consider it newer, the Make America Goth Again hats. Yeah. Those are very popular right now. It also goes into Make America Metal Again, Make America Emo Again, and Make America Punk Again.
All right.
So those are actually doing really well. I'm really proud of those. They are exact parodies of the original MAGA hats with the same font and everything. So those are my personal favorite all around. But as far as all-time favorites in my store, there is a Ron Paul shirt that I made him like Edgar Allan Poe, and it says, "Quoth the doctor and the Fed." Okay. And that's probably like my all-time favorite.
Right. We'll cut that in here because we can do that sort of thing. We have the space powers. Now this may shock you, but I've never had my own thirst calendar. I was wondering if that's a weird experience.
Yeah, it was very daunting for me. I do have some personal issues about, my body, and so it was a lot of growth, and a lot of introspection, trying to get over a lot of insecurities to make it. In some ways, it was like my own therapy to try to come to terms
Okay,
with how I
cool.
saw myself, because I've lost like over 100 pounds.
Hell
So,
yeah,
your mind doesn't catch up when that
totally.
happens. So doing something like that, it was therapeutic. It was at times, there was times where it made me feel great about myself, and
Hmm.
times where like I felt really low about myself. So
Mm.
there were ups and downs to making it, but overall, I'm really happy how it came out. The response was well beyond anything that I
Nice,
thought was
nice.
going to be.
Hell yeah! So you have that option out there on Terra Firma. I'm assuming. I don't know what your personal situation is, viewer. That'd be weird. So one of my favorite pieces of merch you have was the "Not a Leftist, Just Look Like One" shirt, because it's something I struggle with personally. Like, I've done, I guess, still do an industrial band for like 20 years and dress all punk rock, but like, MAGA and shit. So it's like,
Yeah.
what do I do? But I would just like to explore that notion a little bit here, just because, I won't go down into my own story, but like I got like mad canceled, and I was like, when did the cool punk rock thing be to like eat government cheese? Like it just blew my mind that
Mm,
like having a contradictory opinion just like shut me down from every festival that I had a gig at, and all
yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
how do you think that came about?
Wait, so I think what happened was the alternative culture scene has always had a left lean.
Right.
However, the modern left isn't the same left of our forefathers of
Mm-hmm.
alternative culture. It has gone well beyond left
Mm-hmm.
to where it's authoritarian. It's
Right.
gone absolutely into authoritarian grounds now. They demand conformity of thought,
Absolutely.
uh, and if you are not on the same page, then like you get canceled, you get completely ostracized. And if you want to keep uh, the scene alive within yourself, you of course stay true to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because individuality is where it's all based at to
Right.
begin with. So there comes a point where you just gotta like throw up a middle finger and say, you know what, I don't care if you tell me I'm not this
Mm-hmm.
or that, because I know what I
Right.
am.
Hell
And
yeah.
you know my thoughts are independent, yours are not. That's the most conformist thing you can do, is to demand that kind of conformity of thought and just continue on doing what you're doing. That has been my goal, is to actually save alternative culture from the authoritarian left that has become
Hell
authoritarian
yeah.
now. And I think it really can be done. I don't think I can do it just by myself. There's a lot of people that are, on the train with me on that. But I think the end goal is one that's going to be completely revolutionary for the alternative culture seats.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Like like I said, it just like melted my mind where it was like, I grew up like Democrats good guys, Republicans bad guys, fight, 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 punk rock. And
Right.
then I started thinking like, okay, maybe I just listen to this podcast and my mind doesn't explode, or have the
Mhm.
insane notion that men and women are different and like let's not cut up kids. And then like I just like
Right.
my life got melted, and it was like, what? Wow, you can't even explore it. Like, oh, it just like when did punk rock become so? I say punk rock attitudinally. I can mostly listen to industrial music, but um,
Right.
like it just like what? Yeah, I just could not wrap my mind around how much of a parody of itself it became. But I think now that you're saying that, like, yes, the left that I'm assuming you and I are the same vintage, the left that you and I grew
Mhm.
up with, like, just went
Right.
so crazy pants. It's like, all
Hmm.
right, like if I want to
Right.
be able to look at myself in the mirror, I've got to
Mhm.
not agree. But
exactly, the left back then that we grew up with,
yeah,
because I'm a millennial. I don't know what generation
okay,
you are. That was, we believed in free speech.
hmm,
Now it's free speech is threatening. That was
right,
one thing that they really hated Elon Musk for,
right.
was him saying that he wanted to bring free speech to Twitter, now X. But if we don't have free speech, we don't have any freedom whatsoever.
Free speech given certain criteria. Like, wait, what? No, don't you see that? Totally,
Right.
totally. Um, I would like to ask you this. No wrong answers. Having adopted the MAGA slogan, I guess kind of Weird Alling
Hmm.
it, if you will. Why libertarian goth and not like Republican goth or conservative goth or something like that?
Well, I'm only libertarian in ideology.
Uh
I'm not
huh.
libertarian in party. And there's some days where I will be on X and say, I'm reminded on this app every day why I will not join the Libertarian Party.
Okay.
Being so independent minded, so liberty minded, I don't feel like subscribing to a political party
Mm-hmm.
is what's best. In
Yes.
some ways, I believe how George Washington was about that as well.
Okay.
And about that, if you follow a political party, you're expected to blindly follow that political party. And you see that kind of thing with Thomas Massey and how he is drugged or dragged all the time because he won't vote with the party.
Totally.
And whenever you have that blind loyalty to a party, then you lose a lot of your own thought process because
Right.
you're expected to go a certain way. And I'm not about that. So
Totally.
I'm not going to subscribe to any kind of political party if I don't have to. If I have to run for something, I know I'll have to. But
Yeah. I'd
so,
vote for you.
um, but as far as that goes, I'm libertarian in ideology.
Okay.
I'm not libertarian in party sense. So that's why not Republican goth. Um,
Right.
and I'm more pro liberty than a conservative. So it
Okay.
wouldn't be conservative goth either.
Right. Totally. Totally. Yeah. Like, uh, I'll use those labels for like expediency, but like when a bunch of
Mm.
industrial firms are like, Brian, are you a Nazi now? I'm like, no, I don't know. Like I didn't check a box. Like there's things I believe and things I don't believe, and I like your point about mass.
Irony.
Right. Well, that's where I was going with it. Thank you. You're setting me up for these that very question. It's amazing. Like having I'll drag the left for being like Borg drones or whatever, but if one of quote unquote ours doesn't do it and we get mad at them, like now we're becoming the thing we hate, like that
Mhm.
cliche. So
Yeah.
and there is wonderful Thomas Massey merch on your site at
Yes.
libertariangoth.com.
Love him. Love, 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 love. All the love for Thomas Massey.
All right, all right. um And last night, as we're recording this, I was able to catch you killing it on the Alternative Sovereign, your sort of news show. So I left kind of a wild card here in my hit sheet about like news of the day. Like we're recording
Mm.
this in a news cycle that's moving at, pardon the pun, light speed.
Mm.
I need to
Yes.
say that today is May the 8th of 2025. So I was wondering if there's any like news items on your mind that you're just kind of rattling around in the cranium of LG.
Yes, actually. The first ever American Pope. Now, I know that he may have political leanings that don't really align with myself,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a little bit of patriotism in there to know that the
Yeah.
first American Pope was just, I guess, elected.
Mm-hmm.
I texted my dad even, and he says, "We're back, baby." So, it's just that that is a little bit of pride. I'm not even
Mm-hmm.
Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't raised around a lot of Catholics, being Latina and everything, but the first American Pope has been like on my mind all day, just because that little bit of swelling of pride with that.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I hadn't really put that in because I was raised fairly hyper Catholic, and so like I mean, I wouldn't call myself that anymore. I'm pretty non-religious, but either way, I maintain an awareness of the Pope, and I was kind of like pulling for
Mm.
Sarah or something like that. And then when it didn't happen, I was like, but I did not account the American part. That is
Yeah.
pretty
Oh yeah.
dope. Woohoo! I'll get
Oh,
my
for sure.
red, white, and blue wristy in the shot. Okay, Cool.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry for the sniffles. I've been sick, so like
Oh, I'd
just
say
like
you're hella
gross. I
sick. But the the last guy, not my favorite of the
Oh
popes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Extremely woke.
pretty
Woke pope.
woke, pretty MF woke with the border shit. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really,
But he's in the Vatican with the strongest border in the world.
right it's just, come on, man. Okay, cool. All right. I thank you for a little space positivity here. We will, we can break the laws of physics on our flying couch, and we'll do a 90-degree turn here. What are you listening to right now?
Right as I was getting ready, I was listening to Flesh God Apocalypse's album Opera. It's
Oh, is it any good?
their newest album.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing. It's a great album. I've listened through it like all the way through like at least 4 times since I saw them at Chaos and Carnage.
Okay. I knew it was out. I haven't picked it up yet.
Hmm.
But okay.
Oh yeah,
So
it's a great album.
the new Flesh God Apocalypse is dope. All right. Cool. Thank you for that
Yeah,
recommendation.
awesome.
All right.
Enjoy it.
All right, cool. Well, it may take a while to stream it all the way up here past the asteroid belt, but we'll get it up there eventually. Speaking of space, which is kind of all I do, this is time for everybody's favorite feature, radiation round. Called that because lightning is exceedingly rare in space, but it does happen. I had to ask my physics friend if I could call this lightning round. He's like, not really, but anyway. Basically, lightning round, no wrong answers. Say whatever you want. First question: Bauhaus, Christian Death, Specimen, or Joy Division?
I do respect the elders. I do, but as far as the elder music, I'm more of a Cure fan.
More of a Cure fan.
So
Okay, Cure.
I would say kind of not really in that list, but the Cure.
No, that's
of
totally
the older.
that's
stuff.
totally a good,
Yeah.
perfectly fine answer for radiation round. We can go totally off the rails.
Yeah.
Question number 2: difficulty increases. Give me your ideal meal.
Oh, my ideal meal. I really would I'm a huge nerd for salads. I think
Okay.
salads are highly underrated. So a good grilled buffalo chicken salad
Okay.
with a little bit of blue cheese and tomatoes, cucumbers, and a light ranch.
Oh, I am space hungry now for that buffalo chicken salad. Good call. And question number 3: in your opinion, who is the biggest train wreck in Congress right now?
Oh,
I know, right?
It's difficult.
It's a target-rich environment.
Definitely. I would say it seems like either Jasmine Crockett or I can't even remember his name, the one that drafted articles of impeachment that turns out that he
that
actually
goofball
neglected a bunch of animals.
Yeah.
So him or Jasmine Crockett are the two that are like the worst right now.
I think it might be.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that was pretty bonker sauce. Yeah, it's like a cartoon every day though. Okay, so
they're a meme. That's why they can't meme, because they are.
It's like fish don't know they're on water. Like that's why the left can't meme, because they are a meme. I love it.
Yeah, they are a meme.
So from the top, that's the Cure buffalo chicken salad, and a tie between Jasmine Crockett and the guy whose name we can't remember. So now it's time for everybody's second favorite feature, hypothetical spectacle. This is where we get like weird and like kind of Barbara Walters-y and like imagine your essence as like something else. So for this one, I thought we would bust out the Space Couch classic. What would Libertarian Goth, the video game, be like? Would this be like a beat 'em up where like you get like an attack Pomeranian, or would it be like maybe like a Galaga thing where like instead of like flying away with the ship, it's like the ship flies away with your tax money? What do you think the Libertarian Goth video game would be like?
I'm gonna kind of pull it off of one of my favorite games and say it's gonna be kind of more like Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay, dope.
But it is, yeah. But instead of like magic and a wand, it's like liberty takes and like sick memes and just like,
yes,
like doing it that way. And yes, an attack Pomeranian
An
if
attack
needed.
Pomeranian is needed.
That's a great idea.
All right. Well, it's like in a weird way, your AI coffee and Pomeranian pictures are sort of like my coffee, just like bleary eyed over my computer. Like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Like, I know we have a non-zero amount of actual video game developer people that watch Space Couch, so I'm just floating it. That libertarian goth Hogwarts Legacy sort of mashup with an attack Pomeranian sounds pretty good. So maybe you can get like armor for the attack Pomeranian as like a DLC. Now I'm just going crazy. But the power
the Pomeranian can go after the coggies.
There you go. Yes. But like the health thing has to be like a fancy coffee drink, I think, right? Or whatever you have in your AI pictures. What's next for the mighty LG? Like, are you doing more alternative sovereign? What do you got in the clip?
So I recently expanded the alternative sovereign to be like a music news website.
Hell yeah.
And that's part of my whole mission of pulling the tongue of alternative culture from the boot of the establishment, where you read things like Metal Hammer, you read things like Rolling Stone, and all of those journalists are all left-leaning, and they all put their left-leaning spin on everything. So this is going to be a liberty response to that.
Okay, hell yes. Oh, okay, I talked over you. Keep going. Sorry, I got excited.
You're fine. So it's a liberty response to that, where I have liberty-minded writers, and of course, and myself, writing music reviews, writing, educational articles about music and like metal and goth music and whatnot, and even industrial. My first article actually was about Julian Kay, who is kind of industrial.
Sure.
Do you know Julian Kay?
Oh yeah.
Do you know them?
Yeah,
I love them. Great. And actually, Ryan Shuck.
Yeah.
Really, Ryan Shuck leans right, actually.
Oh, okay, cool. Because it's like we before. I got kicked off of every festival, Bill. Whenever I play with, you do these like big festivals, and you're like, oh shit, okay, I played with X. I never saw him, but like technically, I've been on a bill with Godflash or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, yes, I think Julian K was in there, and now I'm just
two former Orgy members. Yeah.
Totally, and we definitely played with Orgy. I had him on Space Couch. That was cool. So yes, you are now in a class with Orgy on Space Couch. Nice. They told
Although
me
this is the do it?
No, they told me this insane story about having to pay off the Mexican mafia so they could get power for their show.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, see, this bracelet, I actually have like a really weird story. I'll try to keep it short, but I saw Julian Kay a few months back in January, I think. And I met them after the show. I met Amir and Ryan and Gabe after the show. And I was telling Ryan after I met them, I was like, yeah, I saw Orgy here last year. And I showed him my bracelet and he's like, yeah, that's only Jay. This is only Jay. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, well, I listen to Candy Ass like at least once a week all the way through. So I was like still a big fan.
Yeah.
And he followed me back on Instagram like a few months back. I was so just like starstruck because as a huge Orgy fan and a huge Julian Kay fan, and then I saw that he actually leans right and he follows back libertarian goth. I was just like, all right, I shouldn't be too surprised because, the whole way he leans politically, as well as the scene. But I was just absolutely starstruck. It was amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. You're actually, I haven't actually talked about this before, but the festival at which we played with them was called Mechanismus. It was in Seattle, and that was before I was sort of outed as right wing. And of course, and then people sent me like pictures of my CDs all smashed and shit. But like anyway, I remember.
Wow.
It went crazy. But like, it's not about me anyway. I just had this weird moment I totally forgot about because the very nice guy who was dropping me off at the airport on the last day was like, you know what I heard about that orgy guy? I heard he leans right, and inside my head I'm going, like, but and then of course that would all come out like a month later. But I forgot about that moment where you got to like check the room to be like, do you think taxation is theft? Because I do too. Like, see who's like sane in the world. Like I had this
Yeah.
extremely tatted up haircut lady once, and we're both like dancing around it, and then I just went like, I voted for Trump, and she's like, I voted for Trump too. And then like, okay, now we can.
Yeah, I'm a libertarian. I voted for Trump, but I've heard people say on YouTube a lot, people who are gay and lesbian, that it's actually harder to come out as conservative than it is to come out as gay these days.
Wow, yeah. A great friend of the show, Mike Harlow. Shout out to Mike. As a gay guy, it's like, yeah, he gets so much more hate for just being conservative than being gay, and I'll steal his joke. He's like, if people keep on saying that Trump is going to set up these gay camps, I hope he does. I'd love to go, which made me laugh.
Yeah, I have ADHD, and I've heard something similar, and I'm like, can you imagine a camp of all of us? Like, we would not only get out, but we find ways to get back in to do so much, because it would just, I don't know. It's like you don't want a bunch of ADHD people together.
Oh,
the stuff we would come up with.
If there was an ADHD camp, the bus would show up to pick me up on day one, and I would have to like run out with half a suitcase because I totally forgot that the bus was going to pick me up for ADHD camp that day. Okay, so I'll bring this flying couch back on into the station shortly, but we'll do this. What did we learn today? We learned that we already knew that our guest LG is totally awesome. We're going to go to libertariangoth.com for some awesome MAGA, MAPPA, MAMA merch. The left went way left, and so it's like okay to think for yourself. It's okay. It's okay. You can do it, everybody. Alternative Sovereign is going full steam, not just with news, but with music news. The Cure, buffalo chicken salad, the Crockett, and the guy whose name I can't remember, and the Libertarian Goth video game would be lit. This, unless you have any final like stupid space cushion, the zero gravity like messes up out here all the way up in space. If you have any final Jerry Springer type thoughts, I will leave the floor open to you, but you don't have to have any.
I just really hope that a lot of people start coming to their senses, and like you said, it's okay to think differently. And I really hope people start knowing that even if you lose friends because of it, they really weren't your friends to begin with. So, come out and express yourself.
Can I keep you for just one more minute? Because like I had this weird gray area thing happen to me where like a lot of people would be like, I'm secretly on your side, but don't tell anybody. And it's like, well, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, I appreciate it, but like you can't help me. That's how they win, is you being scared to. So don't. Okay. Anyway, this is Brian for Space Couch, for LG, for Libertarian Goth, saying, call the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for it of anarchy, and interface with a couch in space. Space Couch out. And then I just let us like talk over the outro credits here.
Oh, it's cute little dancing.
Yeah, isn't he the best? I haven't named him yet. Maybe we can have an audience contest to name the dancing astronaut. But this was so much fun. Thank you so much. I'll cut it